Holla, independent indigo, digging in a form. There's power in the pen, the world watches me perform. Without a helping hand, made a plan to beat the odds. Mama birthed a man, turned myself to a god. Tyler became creator, the future was looking odd. Basquiat off the top, other brothers are just facades. Always more to say. What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of 𝐦𝐨𝐤𝐿. Today, we'll be discussing the Jupiter Uranus conjunction coming up and how you can take advantage of this energy. So let's get into it. All right, so we got this conjunction occurring on the 20th of April, 420, if you know what that is, you know what I mean? Nonetheless, stay focused. So this will be occurring on 4/20/2024. And what is the significance of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction? Well, we got to start with what conjunctions are. Conjunctions in astrology are when two planets are within 10 degrees of one another in the same sign. And the idea is by transit, when the planets are at the exact degree or pretty much within 3-degree orb of one another, that this conjunction is at its peak or strongest. So during this time, so days leading into this conjunction and days after, maybe even up to like a week or two after, this influence is going to hold. As I've said to you before, one of the flaws of our world is that we are spending too much time explaining things rather than acting on them. And this occurring at the tail end of Aries into Taurus is really significant, guys. That 29 degrees of Aries is telling you muster all of the confidence, all of the courage, all of your will, and stay focused. Focus upon where you want to expand at. Aries is here. Taurus is here. So Aries is looking like, okay, Taurus has value to me as it is second from Aries. So the things that you take action upon, the energy that you channel via Aries is going to go into your experience of abundance. So the key thing about this transit is that everyone is going to get a positive effect of this. But I'm stressing to you guys, we don't wait for things to occur. We attract them to ourselves. Attraction is based on a multitude of things: your thoughts, your actions, your ideals, okay, and the motion you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. One of the things that I want to point out here is, it is based on things that like my students have asked me and stuff, is this conjunction all about groups, about the group? And it can have a strong group influence. Because I want you to keep in mind here that when you're living your truth, when you're grounded in your values, you're going to attract others who see you as like an inspiration, or others who are also in line with that movement and thinking and vibration and all of that. So what I want to point out here is that this conjunction is occurring in Taurus. And at the time of the conjunction, Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is deposited in Aries, giving a boost to the passion that we need, right? And then the ruler of Aries, Mars, is in Pisces sextile Jupiter. So in actuality, this is less about the group and more about your belief in yourself. And the people that you attract or that show up is going to be a product of that. I really want you guys to stay in mind with that. So at this time, it's a real need to acknowledge just like who you are as a person, the type of people you value or want in your space. I'm telling you, spend time, whether it be petitioning, like, yo, I no longer want to be around these people. I've outgrown this type of energy. I'm seeking this. Get clear on your intentions. With that said, I know since I've been here, I'm a black man. And many of you are from different countries, you're different, races and all that, but I'm a black man. So more than likely, a lot of people who are relating to me are also black. And because of that, and I listen to people, I know that I'm always associated with like two other black men that do this position. One of them being the peace dealer, which I know I've, had conversations with and things of that nature. The other brother, I don't know him. I've only known him off what I can observe. That ain't my type of person. I don't know them. So I can't say I like or dislike them. But energetically, we are not the same. So yeah, like going forward, I always ask, like, oh, you should collaborate with that person. Yeah, I think if you're looking at it with your eyes, you'll know that, like, I'm a real one and I got really good vibes. And yeah, if you don't got good vibes, you're not going to be able to exist in my space. So like I said, I'm aware of the type of people that the universe permits to be around me. And I'm really aware of vibrations and all of that. As your guide, as your teacher, I'm encouraging you to do the same. Look at what people are showing you. Everyone ain't happy. You want to ask yourself, are you happy? And that's the important thing, right? Because you can know everything, but if you're not happy, a person who can really sees that. Yeah. So getting serious about partnerships and what you really want to bring into your life is literally going to be a reward during this time. Another thing I want to add to this that others are probably not going to say is that the souls being born during this period, because like I said, this conjunction it's going to remain in conjunction for a while. So the souls being born over the next few months, this energy is going to play a paramount role within their life. If you are expecting a child, you'll really want to think about how this energy manifests in different houses, let's say individually or for life. But I'm letting you guys know there's a special group of children being born under this energy. All right. And they should be protected at all costs. This is a time to have expanded faith in regards to your bigger hopes, dreams, and wishes. So the presence of Jupiter is telling you don't aim small. So look at your life, look at your dreams on the highest plateau. Don't let logic or insecurity say, well, that's not possible. Hold the vision. As long as you can hold the vision and continue to work under this influence, the universe will assist you within your expansion. This transit, I don't hear anyone say it, but it really is going to test your faith with these things. The more, let's say, media coverage or the more popular or the more hype around an event, naturally, the human mind places an expectation upon them. Coming off of the eclipse we just experienced, people were expecting superpowers or increased intuitive insight. I know that I've experienced a lot of all of that, but I wasn't expecting to. I just knew that I wanted to get myself into a position that if I'm able to benefit from the energy, I want to put myself in a position. If I'm able to benefit from the energy, then I will. If the universe needs me in a certain position, I just do my best to get to that position. And that's what many of you are going to need to do. However, like I said, what I foresee is a lot of frustration in these coming weeks after. I feel like we may not necessarily have the required patience to see things through. But that's the next part of Taurus. Taurus does deal with being steadfast and stubborn, being fixed within the desire, fixed within the mode of thinking. So as you're expanding and life is going on, and so let's say we get to Gemini season or other mutable influences, there will be a lack of patience. There will be a question of like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. And part of that is going to be because things are so new. So if you're expecting things to be given to you, if you're expecting it to come in a logical manner, if you're expected to be told how things are going to do, you're going to miss the mark. This is about sovereignty, sovereign actions, the movements that you take, the dreams that you're dreaming are all going to be products of the will flowing from your soul. So your direction right now is really going to be determined by the connection you were able to cultivate during this last cycle of Jupiter and Uranus. So another thing that I'm seeing people fail to acknowledge, of course, it's going to be rare for it to come back and occur exactly in Taurus, but this occurred in 2011. So like I said, astrology is a science. It's a pattern. Uranus and Jupiter, they're going to connect again. It's going to be in another sign. So just pay attention to all that hoopla, because there's people out there who assume that this has never happened in their lifetime, when in actuality, go back to 2011, see where you were in life, where this transit occurred for you, what sign, and how have you expanded within that area. For me, that was my 8th house. And since then, I've been firmly in this seat as Gemini Brown. I could look at it as a transformation, because I feel like I gave up a large portion of my human life to make way for my higher self. But you know, it's led to transcendence. It's led to more occult knowledge and awareness. And yeah, so I encourage you to understand how this current transit can play out for you. You'll need to go back to the past and see how you changed or expanded or what you transcended in these last 14 years. Getting more into some themes here. One thing that I'm encouraging everyone to do, particularly if this is happening for you in a social house. If this is occurring in your 1st house, there is going to be a large emphasis on old thinking into new thinking. Whatever ways you were used to being over the last 14 years, or maybe your whole life, now needs to change. Maybe you anchored into a particular thought form that assisted you within a particular career or partnerships. More than likely, that thought form or that way of relating and being now needs to change. It maybe needs to get updated. So if you're Taurus rising, the older you are, the more there's going to be a need for you to take your personality, your vehicle, and adapt to this new ever-changing world. So this should consist of a lot of experimentation with things. If this is occurring in your 2nd house, this is Taurus's natural position. This is going to be a time in which you're able to transcend the realms of survival via your finances. So that translates to, you're not necessarily meant to work a regular job. Or if you do and you're passionate about that job, there's likely going to be boundless opportunities to expand financially in other ways. So once again, there's going to need to be financial risk taking in order to expand or transcend. Others may be able to assist you in regards to like collaboration, things of that nature. If this is occurring in your 3rd house, there's an erratic energy towards this conjunction as well. And I feel like here in this natural Gemini house, the universe could cause an upheaval, whether it be, you know, in your local environment, whether it be in your job. The idea is that this conjunction wants to take you kind of into the 9th house. It wants you to have more movement. So if this is occurring in your 3rd and you've had a stable job, it might be time for a new job, something that allows you to expand your mind or learn something new, okay? A great example is like, let's say someone worked in law enforcement, maybe even like law in general, right? Courthouse settings, things of that nature. This conjunction could signify you moving into a new career or gaining a new interest or hobby that is the complete opposite of what you're doing. So within all these transits, you're going to see there's a real doing away with our old self here, or old ways of being in this house to bring something new. The 4th house, this is going to deal with also relocating, expanding your horizons, connecting to your family or your roots in a different way. And I do have a message here that this really applies. This applies to everyone, but specifically, you know, this is the house of mother, nurturing, raising children. The relationship with your children will need to undergo an adjustment. For some, you might be called to be there more, and you might have to make sacrifices in order to be there more. For others, you might need to give them some more space. If you're, you know, a helicopter parent, this may be a time period in which you need to back off or give them the freedom needed so they can tap into their higher potential. If this is occurring in your 5th house, this is about reinventing yourself. This is about gathering creative courage and really projecting. So I would say for many, I always advise, be mindful of how you're using social media. Make sure it's not taking too much of your energy, becoming a distraction. I would say for people with this transit going through the 5th and the 11th, there is going to be a need to find your way in regards to technology or social media. This can be a big part of your creativity and how it is expressed. So taking creative chances. The 6th house, this is going to be about recrafting your routine, as well as doubling down on what has been working. So if this is occurring for you, you want to see what's going on to this point. All right, am I satisfied with my everyday routine? Is this routine able to serve my higher purpose? Is it bringing me in connection with the opportunities that I need? And once again, it boils back to like more adventure, or you'll need to see where you've been in your own way. If you're, let's say, maybe you're naturally an introvert, you may shy away from doing more than you're capable of on a day-to-day basis. 7th house. Now, it's an interesting one for me. So this is Scorpio rising. I got to say, over the last 5 years since Uranus has gone into the 7th house, I've read from many people with this position, and you know, if they were in relationships, I might have seen in the transits like, oh, this is coming to an end, or this needs freedom. So the important thing for this conjunction going through your 7th, you can be blessed in receiving the connections that you need to fulfill what you need. But at the same time, if you are, let's say, overly committed with the wrong people, or investing energy into the wrong places or relationships, your opportunities can pass you by. You will start to resent your partner or people that are familiar to you. So ultimately what I'm saying here with the 7th house is, don't be afraid to create new partnerships. It doesn't have to be relationships, but partnerships. Get real about this naturally trines the 11th. So it's like, okay, what do I need to get to my hopes, dreams, and wishes? Like, how can others assist me? Are these partnerships currently serving me, or are they just holding me back? The 8th house. The 8th house is going to deal with learning, right? Particularly things of the occult. If you are married or intimately involved, this is going to be lessons around intimacy and that balance of freedom and possessiveness, all of those things. With whatever secret insights or awareness one gains, whether it be about themselves, whether it be about how they are in partnerships, there's a need to act on them. This is one where, particularly in the 8th house, that resentment will really become muddier. So a lot of people might just try to like ignore the need to get out of the situation because of finances and stuff like that. But the universe it'll just keep making things heavier until you say the thing or do the act that allows yourself to be liberated on that deeper level. But it does deal with kind of putting yourself first, right? And just offer what you want or what you deserve. 9th house. 9th house is going to be about a lot more activity, a lot more living of one's truth. Naturally, it's the house of long distance travel. It's the house of mastery. So whatever positions you've held to this point, whatever you've been done, there needs to be an extra layer of seriousness around it. But this seriousness, remember, this is Jupiter's natural domain. This seriousness can also be coupled with joy. Like, so ultimately, for my Virgo risings, take yourself and your endeavors more serious. I know, like, for you guys, I know y'all want to support me. So over these next few months, I'm going to give y'all more ways to support me. Okay? So it's kind of like that, the house of mastery. So it's like, all right, I think I mastered this thing, or I've been living in the truth of this thing. What's the next level? Or how can I change my approach or alter my approach to get more out of it or expand? Okay? And it's a certain seriousness, a serious joy required. 10th house, if this is occurring in your 10th house, this can be a really fruitful next year for you. Things can really open up. Now, remember, this is the original house of Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces. Pisces wants to know, Saturn basically here wants to know that you've fulfilled your Pisces karma, or you've been relating toward your spirituality how you need to. So people with this conjunction going into 10th, your professional ideals are powered by your ability to commit to your desires. So if you are committed to them, if you have tapped into that relentless Taurus energy through time, Saturn is going to give you achievement. Saturn is going to open up abundance in regards of opportunity. If this conjunction is occurring in the 11th house for you, this is a real need to find your group and execute with your group. And how's your group going to execute? How's it going to move on? Based on what you guys all value. So this plays, remember, this is opposite to the 5th house, naturally trines the 7th. This kind of applies for anybody, but if you have the energy, the conjunction occurring here, the more you are playing to your Aquarian ideals or 11th house ideals, standing behind what it is that you do, you're passionate about in this world, you are going to find others that assist that. And romantically, this is what the universe is rewarding others with. So those of you, if you are not in a relationship right now, if you've been waiting, focus on your passion. And through that passion, the universe will bring your person. So it's really important here, y'all. If you know that you want to be in that ideal relationship you've always wanted, start by examining your 11th house. I guess you can let your 10th house too, and just like, how am I showing up in this world? How am I projecting myself on social media? The way I see it, y'all, this is like, you get what you're looking for when you least expect it. It really is that. So I'm telling you, through the 11th house is a lot of relationship fulfillment. If this is occurring in your 12th house, the need to honor your spirituality in a very consistent manner is really what's going to help you avoid losses of all kinds. So this is one where listen to me. I know that people do this. People in this day and age, they're like, oh, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to do the work. So I'm going to buy this weight loss product. If you take the shortcuts here, you'll gain your results, but you'll be losing energy or integrity, or you won't be learning the lessons. Simply put here, Uranus and Jupiter here in the 12th house, you have to talk the talk and walk the walk. If you want something, the work needed for that is required. There's no shortcuts here. So the more you try to avoid doing the work, the more losses you're going to accrue, which, in another sense is like karma too. All right.